It's time for us to be honest with ourselves when it comes to why we can never build a routine that we can actually follow. It comes down to one word we're using wrong: routine. Hear me out. You think you're building a routine when in actuality you're just following a schedule, but you're calling it a routine. What is it that they say about the pig and the makeup? Those two things are so different, and the exact reason your routine is always falling apart. A schedule is a set time: noon workout, 7 p.m. dinner. It's external, and often it's set because of something else and not because of you. Because you have work at a certain time, because you have to go pick up your kids at a certain time, or because of someone's morning routine you saw online, or because of something you read in a productivity book or coworker does it. Obviously gonna work out for you, right? Because we're all the same person with the same needs, with the same life. A schedule, it's borrowed, and borrowed doesn't fit. A routine, on the other hand, is a sequence. It's one thing, then another thing, and another thing. It's like a domino effect. It's an order that comes out of an internal logic. That is what equals a routine, and that does not need a clock to start. But here's where the problem lies. You're copying someone else's schedule and trying to make that your routine. It works until your life gets in the way, and life will always get in the way. You're gonna travel. You're gonna get sick. Your kids are gonna wake up in the middle of the night. It's inevitable. Life always gets in the way. And then the schedule breaks. And because you never had that order, that internal logic, you have nothing to hold on to. A real routine will survive changes to your schedule. A real routine will survive travel, 4 nights sleep, getting sick, because your sequence will remain the same. If you follow me for a while, you know that I truly live it. I keep my routine when I'm traveling, when I'm sick, when I have a crazy night out. And that's because, yes, my schedule changed, but that sequence stays the same. The time slot sometimes needs to be a little bit more fluid. There's actually psychology behind why it happens. We're drawn to schedules because they feel concrete. So when I tell people I started waking up at 5 a.m. and it completely changed my life, they set their alarm and they think they have my routine, but they don't. They have the time, but the routine, which is that sequence plus the why behind the 5 a.m., the sole reason why you get that will to wake up so early, they don't have that. That part that's so hard to show, that's also the part that people don't even ask about. Wendy Wood from USC has done some research on how habits form and what makes them stick. Basically, it comes down to this. The anchor for the habit isn't time. It's a cue, routine, reward loop. The cue triggers the sequence, which is your routine. But if you have just the time without the sequence, then there's no loop. So the first thing triggers the sequence, and completing the sequence gives you a reward. So if you don't have that sequence, then you just have the time and there's no loop. There's no reward and no reason for you to keep going back. It just stops. The question I want you to sit with and really truly think about, and it's not going to be what time should you wake up in the morning? That's a schedule question. And as we know, schedules are not routines. Your routine question is after the coffee, after whatever your first thing is. What comes next? And most importantly, why? What are you protecting by having that sequence? And what does your day look like if you don't have it? And if you can't answer those questions, maybe it's because you don't have a set routine yet. You have an alarm, and an alarm is just a time, and it can't hold you accountable when you just don't feel like it. I know I did a lot of talking. So here's what my sequence actually looks like. Not so you copy it. It's so you can see what a real sequence looks like in practice. I wake up and get ready for my day. Then I do my non-negotiable movement for the day, which is always some form of an at-home workout. Right now, I am loving the Melissa Wood Health app. The workouts are pretty much around 20 minutes long, and I know that no matter how tired I am, I can always show up for about 20 minutes. I do a recovery walk, which is pretty much just my excuse to listen to podcasts uninterrupted. Movement is my anchor habit. Movement then leads to my meditation time, which is really just a time where I'm fully alone with myself, my thoughts, because that way I know that my body and my mind are set and ready for some slight craziness, because no mom morning routine is complete without getting the kids ready to go to school. My movement leads in to my quiet time, which sets me up to not go crazy during the hurdle of my morning. And then I get my reward. Never before, but after. Because that coffee means that I showed up for myself. I start my days with me. That quiet, that moment before my whole world wakes up, before I'm answering a million hundred whys, before the world needs anything of me, I get that quiet time. I get that time to dedicate to myself. That is what I'm protecting. That's it. That's a routine. Sometimes I wake up at 4, sometimes 5. Hey, I've even gotten up at 6. I know. The sequence never changes because the sequence doesn't care about what time it is. It cares about what's next. I'm going to end this video with a question I ask myself when I start the negotiation in my head before I even open my eyes. Because yes, even after 100+ days, it's still hard to wake up that early. And that question is, do I want to be productive or do I just want to be performative? Performative is waking up at 5 a.m. because 5 is the number. Productive is doing the sequence because the sequence is actually what's going to change your day, which changes your week, which changes your month, which changes pretty much every part of you. One is for the aesthetic or the clickbait, and the other one is for you. The sequence is the routine, and the time is just really the door. Try to figure out the sequence first, and the time's just gonna follow afterwards.